Welcome to the channel and to another playthrough by Perigi. And today I have one I'm very excited to bring you, not least of why because it was the game that inspired me to recently create a top 10 list of Shelf of Shame war games. Many of you checked out that video and left comments and recommendations. Really appreciated all your feedback. And of course, the game that inspired all of that, that inspired that list, was Kingmaker, the Gibson remake of the Avalon Hill classic, to a game that came out in the 70s, many years before I was born, but nostalgia is a heck of a drug, and I can't wait to see how this one plays, especially because the Gibson reprint does include a new version to play, Kingmaker the Second, which is a streamlined, more modern version of the classic game, and includes the possibility that you can win much earlier than you used to be able to, instead of just waiting until the last royal piece was crowned. Now you have the possibility of a prestige victory. This tile is seeded into the event deck. When it's revealed, if you have enough points, you will win Kingmaker. So, should be a much shorter experience than the classic game, but still allow us to really get a sense for how it plays. The group I'm playing with, we generally meet up about once a month at our local convention called Stack Academy here in Montreal. So they're pretty good and skilled gamers, and it should make for a pretty vicious, raucous affair. We're really going to live out those Wars of the Roses. So looking forward to bringing you this one. Definitely, as per usual, we'll show you setup at the start of the game, then we'll go through some of the best action that we can find in film, and then of course player thoughts and reviews at the end of the game. So if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy these kind of playthroughs and reviews, please do like the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and making comments below. Really appreciate all your help in building up this channel, trying to show some these lesser played and more niche games to a wider audience. So without further ado, Kingmaker the Second, let's get at it. So here we are, morning at Stack Convention in Montreal, the summer Stack, and we have Kingmaker the Second set up. A very beautiful game, this updated version. You can see they really took some care in making the map more clear. You've got individual faction tokens with their coat of arms. You've got your royal pieces and control markers. And you can see we use the pre-balanced setup, so it should be a fairly even game with some very aggressive players. So we'll see how it goes. I'm the silver faction, which is the Poles faction, and it actually starts the game. So you can see my silver pieces there. And the strategy, of course, is to try and capture king or other royal pieces. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to go about it, but it should be exciting to find out. And playing with us today, we have some special guests. First of all the way from Vermont, we have Kyle, Phil, a veteran to the channel, and Mikhail, a newcomer, a young guy studying history in university, so he should have some interesting perspectives on this game. So we'll get going with turn one and then come back and see what happened. All right, so a pretty cagey opening to the match. Not a lot has happened. A lot of traffic around London, which allowed Mikhail to take control of King Henry, making him a target for everyone else, and he raced ahead on prestige points. He's at 7. Looking across the board here, my forces have concentrated here in, I believe, Wales, to try and maybe get to Calais and try and get a new monarch. We've got quite a bit of congestion also here between yellow and purple. And I think we're going to have our first parliament session soon. So we're going to show how a siege works. So Mikhail has moved his troops to take Durham, and he is going to establish that he has the strength to do so, which all he needs is 200.
Yeah, I got 150 here, and I've got another 100 here at least. So
all right,
enough.
It's more than enough. So then you draw a event card.
So I got Chancellor, May Summon Parliament. That's not bad weather.
So you actually keep that card, but there's no bad weather, so you do establish. Now, did you have any of these nobles prisoned?
I had Cromwell.
Oh no,
Cromwell, he was Marshal of England. He had the keys to Norfolk, and he was the Earl of Westmoreland. But now all of that disappears.
So a very expensive battle. So even though he won and took Durham, he actually lost a sizable percentage of his force, which as those who are trying to catch up to him don't mind too much.
Oh yeah.
He'll lose prestige for that and move himself down. So, very bloody battle in the end for him. All right, so we've gotten through several rounds, and you can see Kyle has caught up to Mikhail in prestige. A prestige tile has been revealed, so there can be a victory at any point that someone who has a king crowned has enough prestige. Few battles and sieges have thinned some things out, but more nobles are on the board. My position here is pretty concentrated in Dover, and then I've got one solitary noble up here. Potentially could go after Richard, Duke of York. That might be a good play. I do want to try to get to Calais though, because that might be a key to victory. Again, not too many battles have happened yet, which is surprising. I think everybody's playing pretty cagey. Kyle, what are your thoughts?
It's so far, I think because it's our first game, we're a little hesitant to get into it with each other. I agree with you there. I think somebody needs to shake that up. Now, who that will be, I do not know, but we need to. We're playing 4 solitaire hands right now, so we need to make a change.
I'll show you how a turn works. So first, you draw an event card. So Phil, do you mind drawing me that event card? Plague. Ooh, this could be bad. So plague in London. We go to London. Uh-oh. Mikhail, 2 of your guys are in London.
So I lose the strongest guy.
You lose the strongest one.
I lose the titular Talbot. Since he dies, I think I lose control of London himself.
Yes, you do.
The king, I lose the king too.
He dies.
The king's dead. Oh Lord, the king is dead.
So the king just died of plague.
I lose 5 points right now.
5 prestige points. Wow.
Yeah, so no more. You see, luck has. I was very far ahead. I was 9 points, 2 points from winning, and now from plagues, from sieges, I'm down to 2.
Wow, what a turn of events. This game
Lord.
actually kind of punishes you in weird and random ways, and that plague was very fortunate for the rest of the table, but Kyle, who wanted some chaos, is grinning because he's now rocketed to the lead with no skillful play of his own, I might add. But hey, you gotta be good to be lucky, right?
Sometimes luck is all you need.
So who's next in line?
All right, so I've just summoned Parliament as the sole king. I have invited the Chancellor and one of my nobles. I am only 1 victory point away from winning, so if I can manage to get one of these prestige cards, that can win. Phil, are you going to let that happen?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
All right, so the way Parliament works is now we go around the table after the Chancellor's been invited. Do you wish to go to Parliament? Mikhail, are you going to go to Parliament?
Poland has nothing but the holes on his back, so he's coming to Parliament.
All right, so Parliament is in session. So now there are 3 offices available, and the Chancellor divvies them up. But it has to go to people that are eligible, and actually Howard is eligible.
I am eligible too.
Completely my discretion, though.
Yes.
So I'll give myself 2.
So instead of awarding me a victory point, he actually did the smart thing and awarded himself 2, and Mikhail 1. So profitable venture for them.
No points for me.
And no points for me, so the game continues. So smart play. Some chaos happened there, but I think that was the right play in the end. Move right here.
So I'm moving my enormous stack to York, and I'm gonna siege it. Have more than enough to siege it. So taking the event card, it's a clamor for Parliament. So
Put it back. Under just under there. Yeah.
Okay. Storms at sea. So that's still.
Yeah. Any of your nobles in that group of nobles?
Holland and Bruce. No, none of them are.
So it is successful.
It is successful.
You do get Richard, Duke of York.
You get him, yes.
And his accompanying prestige?
2.
2.
2 prestige.
Yeah.
All right, and now that gives you a next in the line for the Yorkist throne. Do you have 2 bishops?
I have an archbishop.
Oh my gosh, you have an archbishop. So, according to this sequence of play, which is really, really handy, after the combat phase, you have parliament phase. He can't call parliament, but he can coronate the next in line. And are you going to choose to do that?
I am going to do that, yes.
All right, so using my free move card, I managed to get from the port here down to Calais, and I played my Flemish crossbowman, which gave me just enough strength here to besiege Richard, Duke of Gloucester, in Calais. I'm going to draw a card. No delay, no weather delay, so none of those are guys in my troops, so I do take Calais, and I get Richard. Well done, me. All right, so true to his pledge to mix things up, Kyle has landed an enormous force of nobles against poor Pole, who is just minding his own business in Dover. A siege of quite overwhelming force, so we're going to draw a card. Hopefully we get some death there. Pole, Percy, and Audley. Wow. Pole. So the siege is successful, and all of it died anyway. So he doesn't get the prestige, though, which is good. So I am moving all of my forces, taking him out of the castle, taking him here, and I'm attacking with all of my force against your stack of nobles. Okay? So I'm trying to win the major battle here, which should give me the 2 points. All right? So, Kyle, how are you feeling about this battle?
Betrayed.
Betrayed?
Yes.
That's good. That's what we wanted. We wanted a lot of betrayal. I will total up my forces and we'll check it out. All right, so we have a strength of 540, so 2-to-1 odds. 2-to-1 odds. Are you feeling good about this?
Again, feeling very betrayed. That has not changed.
All right,
We've been friends all game.
We have been friends all game, but it's time to see if I can king make myself. All right, so draw me an event card, please, Phil or Kyle. 2-to-1
2-to-1
happens, but first, Howard, Greystroke, and Mowbray. Oh no! Oh no! I just was able to win that battle at a high cost. I would have won the game had that worked out, but one of my nobles was killed in battle, unfortunately. And what happened was, after the distribution of all the cards and everything, I ended up just 1 prestige point short of victory. And I think Phil is loving this because I think next Parliament he is going to win.
And I think it's important to see who I have left in front of me, which is exactly nobody.
Yes.
And I want to go on record as the one American in this game. Canadians have a reputation of being nice. That has been completely dashed. And I need to rethink things big time.
Well put. Canadians, we have our backbone. So we're on your last turn, I think, Phil. You think you have a plan to win the game here?
Yeah, basically, I have over 300 troops in Norwich, and if I move them in London and take them, I get my last point to win the game. So, well, first I have to play the event. Embassy from the Duke of Burgundy. So King to Malden, ignore if 2 kings or no kings. So there's 2 kings. So this doesn't
No
do
effect.
anything. No effect. So I'm moving into London with my stack. So the siege goes well. I win the game. Peasant revolt. Stafford to Leeds. Actually, no. Killed Courtney and Clifford. Clifford is he's over there. Safe. So I take London.
So you take London, and technically you don't win until the end of the turn, but
Right.
so we go through it all, and I believe, Phil, that gives you your 11th victory point.
Yeah.
So we will call it as a win at the death for Phil. Congratulations, Phil. Way to go.
Thank you. Good game. Enjoyed it.
All right, so here with the winner, Phil, as the winner of the game, you get your thoughts. We're outside in the beautiful sun because it is a beautiful August day here in Montreal. And although we're going to be inside all day, we had a good game of Kingmaker too. So, Phil, as our winner, your thoughts on the game?
Definitely an enjoyable experience. I find it plays like kind of like a lighter coin game, so you have the same sort of fluctuations. You can definitely catch up when you're down. I definitely, when I started off this game, I was pretty much almost behind everybody. But you're able to come back. I would say like comparing it to one games, definitely less of flavor, more of a sandbox game, but also simpler. So definitely a good entry level war game that you can show to your friends who aren't used to war games.
Perfect. So once again, congratulations, Phil.
Thank you.
Another solid win for you. Go ahead.
Well, like Phil said, there's quite an opportunity. You feel like you're always in the game, even when you get hit pretty hard. Like me early on, I was very much in the lead. I had 7 9 points. I was thinking of how am I gonna win next turn, and then I got a plague in London, killing a third of my army. Then I got a unfortunate battle in the north near Scotland, killing the rest of my army. So then I was very much behind the game. But throughout the whole thing, I'm very engaged, placing nobles down. You're always getting stronger, even if you're knocked down. And so I was trying to hope that these three would play each other off and stall each other just enough so I could get back in the game. But unfortunately, Phil won the major battle before that could happen. But overall, I really enjoy it. Even when you lose, you feel like you can win.
That's a good point, eh? Like you were really at the top, then you went all the way to the bottom, but the game just finds a way to keep you in it, right?
Yeah, yeah, because it's not tied to how much you control. That's your resources, your gains aren't tied to how much you control, but it's tied to a constant upkeep every phase. So you're always going to be getting just as much stronger as the other guys are.
Very swingy game. You need to be the type of player that is okay with random events and randomness, and knowing that sometimes you're going to be dealt a blow that you were not in control of, and it'll take you out of the blue. I always measure a game, would I want to play it again? I would happily play this game again. Very fun as long as you're comfortable with that randomness. I think probably, if I had to guess, 3 players might be the sweet spot. It does suffer a little bit from downtime while other people are taking their turn, so that would be my one critique. And then another minor critique is it was difficult to find towns on the map. I know they tried to make a grid, but the grid didn't really carry over into the map. So I think we wasted a little bit of time trying to find locations on the map, and that could be one improvement they could make. But overall, fun time. I would happily play it again, even though the Canadians kicked my butt.
Now, and you made an interesting point about this being a game from the 70s. I know this is a remake of a 70s game, but you made an interesting point about how a game from that era is playing modern. Did you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to avoid, frankly, the older games because I think a lot of times they were good in their day, but gaming has progressed. And I think a lot of times the nostalgia is maybe a little greater than the actual quality of some of those older games. But what really surprised me about this is I always had an image of the games from the 70s being very straightforward, very linear, very mathematical, and this was anything but. And I was really surprised to see that such a chaotic game existed back then and was so popular back then.
So yeah, that was Kingmaker the second, and I think it was well summed up by all three of my other participants. It's a fun game. It's dynamic. It's swingy. You can see why it has staying power. I mean, it was a very good point made by Kyle about an older game. Normally, you would think it would be more. Very odds determined, and in this case, there was some odds with the combat table, but it really just came down to kind of luck of the draw on the cards, but positioning your armies and your forces to achieve objectives. The politics and the deal making, not as strong as I thought it might have been. Reading the box cover and thinking, okay, I'm going to really backstab and sort of weasel my way into crowning a king and being the victor of the War of the Roses. It didn't really happen that way, but I have to say that everybody played pretty skillfully, and even when they lost forces, you could see that they found a way to get back into the game. I like that there was no player elimination. I like that even somebody that had nothing left in front of them had a chance to get back in the game, and I think that's a good mechanic. Overall, I think that I tend to prefer games with a little more social interaction. There wasn't as much deal making, but in terms of the combat and moving around the map, it was pretty fun. The counters are a little hard to read. I have to admit that sometimes you really struggle to see which of your actual nobles was in the right position, and then you said, oh shoot, I meant to put him there, and we had to be a little forgiving on things like that. But overall, a fun morning of gaming, and it was a game that really didn't overstay its welcome. I think we clocked in at about 2.5 hours, and that's for all of us playing for the first time. So I think timing wise, we got it done in a nice amount of time. We have a beautiful day out here. We have more games to play during the day, and I think we're pretty happy that we got it accomplished. I think I would definitely play that one again. I mean, I own it, so I definitely should. But it's certainly not a game that I would just put on my shelf and forget about. I think, with the right group, like Kyle said, you can have a good time. And I think, like the other guy said, you're forced to do things that make it to a point where you're never really just um, everything's going your way. There's something that's going to happen, like Mikhail said, a plague in London, an unlucky outcome in a battle, and all of a sudden going from 9 victory points to 0. So the swinginess can be something that maybe people who really like to, I guess, maximize their turns and optimize everything wouldn't enjoy as much. But if you like war games, if you like dynamic action, and if you like sort of dipping into that pool of nostalgia, I think Kingmaker is definitely going to do it for you. So a good game. I think I'll give it about a 7 initially on my scale, but I would definitely play it again. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.